Hello and welcome to this guide review for what is unusual for my channel, because I usually do tech and computer games, but this is actually a swimming pool. So this is a Bestway swimming pool. It is 16 foot by 8 foot by 48 inches deep with a steel frame and should look a bit like that when it's done. It does come with a ground sheet and it comes with a pump, as you can see there, and filters, two of. And it comes with a top sheet as well. So yeah. Oh look. Yeah, I don't think that's going to take me 30 minutes to put that up. But see, it holds 11,553 litres or 3,000. Okay, there is a, or 3,046 gallons. And there is its dimensions across. It's 8 foot across, 9 foot if you include the legs. That's interesting, I didn't know that. But the overall height of the pool is actually 48 inches or 1.2 metres. So the waterline's going to be just below that, but it's still going to be pretty deep. And this is our second Bestway pool. And basically what it is, we had one that had it was a 12-foot ring, and the top ring was inflatable. After we had that the first year, put it away for a year. The second year it just kept finding holes in the ring and we just couldn't keep it inflated, and the amount of water we lost was, well, it was really unreal. So yes, so installation usually approximately 30 minutes with 2 to 3 people, including earthworks and filling. I don't think that's going to happen because I'm going to be doing this on my own. I might be able to get the wife to help me later. So yeah, look forward to not doing that if I can help it. Alright, okay, so let's get it unboxed and see if we can actually get this thing up and get it started to fill by the end of the evening. See you soon. Okay, so here we are. This is the pool. Apparently it's going to take me 30 minutes to put this together, but I asked with a couple of people rather than just doing it on my own. Now, one of the tips you're probably going to want to need to know when you're doing this is what you're going to do with it for the other half of the year, because this is only going to be up for 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months at best. And the problem with that is where you're going to keep it. Now, it's quite bulky, as you can see. I mean, it's a good couple of feet by a good couple of feet, and the likelihood of you getting that rolled up and back in this box is probably never going to happen. If you're intending to keep it in the box, if you're going to store it somewhere else, then that's fine. You're not going to have to worry about that, but you're going to have to store it somewhere where it's not going to be get damp. It's not going to be chewed by mice if you live in the countryside like I do. And so I want it in a box. I want to put it back in this box if I can. And if that's the case, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make sure that when I unpack it, that I unpack it properly as well. So this is going to be quite interesting, to say the least. If this takes me 30 minutes, it'll be a miracle. I imagine this is actually going to take me about an hour and a half. So what I'll do is I'll video bits as I go along. First of all, I'm going to do is get everything out and lay it out, make sure I've got everything that I need in there. I'm particularly worried because it doesn't actually mention a ground sheet, whereas when we brought it, it said there was a ground sheet. So, okay. If not, I do have a ground sheet, but that's in the shed somewhere. Finding that's going to be fun. Okay, but let's get on with it. Okay, so first things first, whilst I'm unpacking this, I come across this long oblong box. It was one of the first boxes in the top, and it's incredibly light, and it's also incredibly empty. Not entirely sure what was supposed to go in there, but I'm not going to need that, so in the rubbish with it. Now, what you can also see is in the top is, I think what we're seeing here is you've got your tubes for your filter. Just there, so let's have those out. Oh yeah, they're quite nice and long. They're a good few metres each, so you've probably got a 4 metre stretch there. What else have we got? Well, these bits are These go in the sides to plug up the sides if you need them to, but you're more likely to need these, which go on the end of those. You basically poke these through the side wall of the swimming pool, and then on the you connect the tubes on the other side, and then you clamp them down with those clamps in there, so that holds them on. They also hold them onto the pump. This. Excellent. That actually looks like the ground sheet, which I didn't think was there, or it might be the cover. Oh no, hold on. There we go. There's the cover. So there is a ground sheet and a cover with this, so that's handy. I'm guessing that grey thing there is the actual swimming pool. This is a small box. Let's open that up. Let's have that out, and let's open that up. That's probably the pump, so we'll have a look at that next. Okay, so as suspected, this is actually the pump. So I'm not particularly worried about the box, so I'll have the pump out of there. This does look a lot like the one we had from the other one that we had last year. It looks like it's a bit bigger, so we'll have to get some spare filters for that, ordered from Amazon most likely. That's where we got the last ones from, because you can clean them, but they do get clogged up, and they do clog up quicker. It's easier to get a new one and just put it in, and they are reasonably cheap. You can be disposable, but if you do want to keep cleaning them, you'll be cleaning them every few days just to keep the algae out of them. At least that's what I found. Maybe I don't have the chemical balancings right, but next box. Okay, so the next box looks like we've got most of the uprights that we're going to need, or the bits that go underneath. Actually, that's beginning to look like a ladder. That's got to be the ladder. Yeah, that's going to be the ladder. And this is the swimming pool wrapped up, quite thin, quite tight. Look at that. That's about 3 to 4 inches by a few feet, and that's the entire swimming pool inner. And that, I've had to put it on its side to get everything out. And the other poles are still in there in this big box here. So let's see if we can drag that out. Yes, no. Almost. I can see why you need more than one person now. That's going to be fun getting that out. Okay, so I think I can build the ladder last, but it looks like we've got everything. We've got the tubes, we've got the ladder, we've got the cover. I think the instructions to actually build it are in here somewhere. Got the ground sheet, we've got the pump and the filter bits for the side, and the clips that clip it all together. Got the actual swimming pool itself, and over there we've got the metal sides. So I will get started on putting that out. Okay, so that's the ground sheet laid out, and if that's any indication, I'm going to need a bigger garden. Look at the size of that. I'm going to have to move it over slightly, and so keep it out of the flower bed on the right hand side here. So I'm going to have to take up some of the space of the gravel path. But that's huge. I knew it was going to be big, I just didn't realise it was going to be quite that big. So yeah, I better get some weight on that, make sure that the sheet doesn't go flying away, and start reading the instructions on how to put it together. So opening this box, we find that we've got all of the poles that we need, including the U-shaped uprights. There we go, turn it around. So we should have enough of those. There's 4 down each side and 2 for the ends, I believe, for the 16-foot one. And then you've got the 4 corner pieces, and in the bottom there you've got the straight ones that go across the top. Oh, okay, let's lay it all out and get going. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, I've laid out the poles, and as you can see, the way that this folds in, it actually folds in from the ends first. So if I want to try and get it back, so it sort of like folds over like a shirt, and then folds over at the end, and then you can fold it in a couple of times and then fold it over. Oh dear, so far I'm exhausted. I haven't even put it up yet. I bet it isn't as big as the tarpaulin, which is useful. You can see the sides where these flaps strip out and stand out. That's how far wide it's going to be, because that's where the U pieces are going to sort of fit in. And then after that, I've got to thread the poles in, and I've got to stand it up. Almost there. A couple of hours in now. I've been doing other things. I've had to bath the kids and get them to bed, that kind of thing. So I've probably lost about 3/4 of an hour there, but getting there. Now, one thing I want to take note of is these two bits here. These are where your filters are going to be, so and your pump is going to be on this side of the pool. Notice there isn't any on that side of the pool, so you only have one choice. Now, luckily for me, the garden is slightly downhill going in that direction, and the outlet is on that end, on the other end, so it's on the far side there, underneath the pool itself. So when I actually come to drain it in 4 or 5 months' time, it's going to drain out into the drain just outside our fence, so which is quite handy. So I've had to take that into account. Make sure that you do. Let's crack on with it. Okay, and finally, there we have swimming pool erectus, and it's quite deep. It has to be said. It's almost up to the middle of my chest. I'm just going to show you how these go in so that you can use them. And basically, you've got this hole here, that's A, this one down here called B, and you need to do both of them. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to take your filter, stick it through this side, and then, so you can see that it's in there, what you do with the hose is you put a clip on it, like so. Right, so you get these clips in a bag, and you take the end of that, stick it on there, so it goes over the top, if you can. Not the easiest thing to do one-handed. Once you've got it on, you just use the butterfly nut to do it up, and then that's your seal, and then that's one pipe done. And you do the same on the other end, connected to the pump. Now A goes to A on the pump and B goes to B, so it's quite straightforward. So once they're on, jobs are good and we can start filling it up. The only other thing I've got to think about is that bit down there. I've just got to cap that off, for which we did get a cap. So it's already got one. Look, it's already done. Look at that, lovely, already there. And there we go. One swimming pool. That's taken ages on my own. That's taken me a good couple of hours to figure it out and do it on my own. So there you go. As you can see, the light is slowly fading. I can now think about filling it, and tomorrow we should have at least some of it full. Okay, fantastic. I've also got to build the ladder. I'll leave that till tomorrow. Okay, so finally it's up, and it's taken me a good time, and it's actually the next evening. What happened is I was up until quite late last night, actually putting up the ladder. So as you can see, I've tucked the tarpaulin underneath, because we're on pretty hard ground here. We don't need anything to support it with. As you can see, we are now filling, and my daughter's already dropped a hairband in there. So we're slowly filling up. The steps, just done on the screws and the nuts and the bolts up, that's ready to go in. And then when the pool is got a few inches in it, I need to get inside there and push out the edges, make sure everything is trodden down. Now, made sure that I've got those two on the right way round, so it flows from the middle over here into the pump, which is on the other side, and then comes out with that one. So that one over there is the more grated one, and that one's like the outlet over there. So the outlet, the release valve when you want to put it down, that's down there. That's got the cap on the end of it, and as you can see, I've got my pump set up down there. All I need to do is get a power supply to it. Now I've got a nice long connection, but I need to find a way of putting it down there and making sure that it is in some way waterproof. Usually what I do is I put it on a brick or two, so usually it's on like this thing here, this bench on top of the bench, and then it's covered over with a bucket, and that keeps the water out of it. But now that the pump's over there, that presents me with a new problem, so I'm gonna have to find a way of putting it up higher. I'll feed the wire across the top of the fence and then down and then through the window in the house. So there we have power to the pump. But yeah, that's about it. Now remember, this is a Bestway 16 foot by 8 foot and 48 inches deep. It's £499 to buy, and you comes with the ground sheet. It comes with all the poles and everything you need. It comes with the tubes, the pump, and it comes with the cover which we had on it last night, and obviously it comes with the ladder as well. All you just need to do is put it up and fill it with water. So, can it be done on your own? Yes, you can do it on your own, but I don't advise it. It was quite difficult. It took me quite a long time, and I was exhausted today. I've really felt it in my arms and in my legs. There's a lot of squatting, a lot of lifting, but yeah, I don't think I'll be bothered to put it back all the way back in the box, so I'm just going to get rid of that, and I'll just pack up the inner and the tubes. I'll make sure that they're well protected. I'll use the talcum powder when I do that, and so that it's well protected over the course of the winter months, what they refer to as winterizing in the leaflets and the instruction booklets, which weren't particularly intuitive because it covers every single pool type that they have, and it was a bit confusing because some of the different bits and pieces for the other pools are mentioned, but they're not here. One of the particularly interesting points was it mentioned different types of these U-shaped uprights, but they're all the same on this particular model. The only differences were the poles that go along these bits and along these edges. They're different sizes. Now, if you're interested, that's an A and a B there, and on the other end there's an A and a B. Then you've got on here and on the other side you've got the two E's. In the middle two sections you've got the two F bars, and on the end you've got the two D's. And that's what you need. That's how they're referenced. They are labelled, at least mine were. I had little sticky labels on them so I could reference them and find out where they went. And I was able to match them up to the design in the instructions. Okay, and there we go. Only time will tell whether it's been worth it and whether it's worth the money. I'll let you know and I'll keep you updated. Until then, back to the normal games and tech reviews. See you in the next one. Oh, don't forget, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Keep up to date with us. We'll post more. If there's any game or technology you particularly want me to have a look at and review, if I can, then I'll do it. Just contact us on Facebook or post us on Twitter. So look for Savvy Gadgets. So until the next video, goodbye.